everyone!
안녕하세요 여러분.
Right now, the weather in Minnesota is absolutely beautiful. It's finally my favorite season, fall. So the air is just a little bit chilly and crisp and just so beautiful. So Jin and I decided we're gonna go for a little walk today and hopefully find a cafe with some outdoor seating so we can sit outside and enjoy this beautiful weather while also helping Jin study a little bit of English today. He's got something very important coming up. So we'll bring you guys along with us and you can enjoy it together. So let's go. I love it. Like the leaves are already starting to change color, so it's just so beautiful out here. See, this is what I'm talking about. These cute little yellow leaves already. Look at all these squirrels over here. Wow. Oh my god, they're coming towards me. They're coming for me. They're coming for me. Look at them.
레이한테 꿀 바르는 거 어떻게 알고?
What do I do? Why are they running? Okay, I think I lost them. Oh no, they're coming back.
Ray, I'm bringing dogs to you.
You scared me so much. Almost had a heart attack. Be nice to the duck. Be nice to the duck. Don't scare it. That's so mean. All right, Jin's weird. Let's go. Okay, bye.
Hello, house.
Hi. It's so cute.
Hi, Millhouse. I know. Oh my goodness.
방금 보셨죠? 미국 사람들은 특히 미네소타 사람들은 말이 진짜 많아요. 제가 눈 마주치잖아요. 그러면은 How was your day? 이러고 이렇게 일단 물어보고 봐요. 남 모르는 사람인데. 그럼 제가 잘 지냈다 그러면은 왜 잘 지냈는데? 그러면은 집에서 넷플릭스 수리남 봤다 그러면은 수리남 나도 봤다. 우리 할아버지가 한국 전쟁에서 일했다 막 그러거든요. 그래가지고 그 한 5분 지나면은 미국 사람들이랑 막 대화를 하고 있어요. What's up, man? 그래서 이제는 저도 익숙해져가지고 이제 제가 복수하고 있어요.
They even have this here. Maybe Jin, you should teach me how to play jangi and we can play it when other people are playing chess. They're gonna think we're so cool. Or weird, I don't know. This is nice. Didn't know this was here. Anyway, let's keep going.
제가 내일 운전면허 시험 필기시험이 있는데요. 제가 지금 너무 긴장돼요. 이거 왜 그런 거냐면은 제가 미국에서 벌써 운전면허를 4번째 치고 있거든요. 제가 이거 바보라 가지고 운전면허를 4번 치는 게 아니라 미국 공무원들이 일을 진짜 너무 대충 해가지고 지금 이런 불상사가 일어나게 됐어요.
So Jin already passed his Minnesota permit test once. Then when we went to sign him up for his driver's test, the DMV conveniently lost his permit test record. Regardless of how much we argued, they said, nope, you're out of luck, you've got to start again. So he signed up for the permit test again, took it, and freaking failed. So now this is going to be his third time taking it in Minnesota. Poor guy.
제가 지금 상황이 많이 꼬여버렸어요. 이게 설명드리자면 되게 길어가지고 앉아서 설명드릴게요. 제가 10년 전에 운전면허를 미국에서 고등학교 다닐 때 한번 땄었어요. 근데 기간이 되게 오래전 일이라 가지고 만료돼가지고 작년에 미네소타 왔을 때 필기시험을 봤는데 그때 뭐 한 30분 정도 공부를 했는데 합격을 하더라고요. 그래가지고 두 번째 시험 봤을 때도 또 치라고 그래가지고 공부 안 하고 왔는데 초반에 모르는 단어들이 좀 나오더라고요. 그래가지고 제가 찍었는데 실수로 여러 개가 틀렸어요. 초반에 이러다가 떨어지는 거 아니야? 막 이런 생각에 사로잡혀가지고 다음에 나오는 문제들이 좀 다 이상하게 들리더라고요. 그리고 문제들도 다 막 음주운전하고 뭐 사람 치면 징역 몇 년 사냐, 불법 주차를 하면은 벌금을 얼마 무냐 막 이런 문제가 나와가지고 찍는 것마다 운이 나쁘게 다 틀리더라고요. 그래서 제가 결국은 패닉해가지고 떨어졌어요. 저 이번에 무조건 합격해야 돼요.
Your makeup's really cute, by the way. Thank you. I think your looks good too. It's very subtle but dramatic at the same time. Thank you. Like in a good way. Smokey's bold, but also you do it in a subtle way. You know, this is a great way to start my morning. Some compliments on my makeup. Wow.
오셨죠? 말 엄청 거는 거. 그래서 제가 레이한테 항상 뭐 주문할 때 레이한테 하라고 하는 이유가 이거예요. 아직도 긴장돼요. 저 자꾸 뜬금없는 거 물어봐가지고. 이 영상은 말해보카라는 재미있게 영어 공부를 할 수 있는 어플리케이션 회사에서 협찬을 받고 제작한 영상이고요. 저희는 사실 3개월 전부터 장모님께서 돌아가시기 전에 그때부터 소개를 받고 단어 공부를 했어요. 그래서 오늘 영상을 통해서 여러분들께 말해보카가 어떤 어플리케이션인지 소개하는 시간을 가져보려고 해요. 미국은 다양한 인종이 모여 사는 이민자의 국가잖아요. 그래가지고 사람마다 쓰는 단어 스펙트럼이 굉장히 넓어요. 그래서 그 사람 입에서 무슨 단어가 튀어나올지 모르니까 진짜 영어 단어를 많이 알아야 돼요. 거기다가 또 조심하셔야 될 게 영어 단어만 많이 아는 게 중요한 게 아니라 그 단어가 가진 그 뉘앙스들을 일일이 다 알고 있는 게 굉장히 중요해요. 참고로 저는 10년 전에 미국에서 학교까지 다니고 지금은 이렇게 미국인 아내랑 결혼해가지고 이렇게 영어를 24시간 쓰는 입장인데도 저도 아직도 미국 사람들 앞에서 이렇게 이야기할 일 있으면은 아직도 영어 울렁증이 조금 있어요. 그래가지고 저도 지금도 틈틈이 시간 날 때마다 영어 단어 공부를 하고 있어요.
So that's why I think even when I was teaching English in Korea, I recommended all levels of English learners to do one thing. And that is focus on vocabulary. Because like you said, there's that huge spectrum of words that native speakers use. So I think it's really important for English learners to at least have some exposure to the different like synonyms that they might experience in the real world, even if you, for example, don't choose to use those specific words yourself when you're speaking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like these days, Jin has been focusing really hard on studying his vocabulary to like help in situations like this, but not just this, his permit test as well. Because I think if you had just known those couple of vocabulary words, you would have probably passed, right?
Yeah.
It's just a small dumb mistake. Like it's like a shame to fail just because of something simple like that. So yeah, he's been trying so hard.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
미국 운전면허 시험도 한국이랑 굉장히 비슷해요. 왜 그러냐면은 관련 법규라든가 뭐 중요한 룰 같은 거 몇 개만 외우면은 나머지는 다 상식선에서 이렇게 풀 수 있는 문제들이거든요. 그래가지고 운전면허 시험에 합격하시려면은 제일 중요한 거는 단어를 많이 아셔야 되고 그리고 영어 실력도 좀 있으셔야 돼요.
The way Koreans learn English vocabulary can kind of be, I guess, not that efficient. Because at least when I was teaching English, what would happen is the teachers would provide just a direct translation, like sagwa, apple, this type of thing, right? It's just a sheet with the direct translation side by side like that. That's totally fine for memorizing vocabulary, but if you want to implement that vocabulary into your everyday life without context, you're going to make mistakes. So one of my favorite examples of this, and I think I mentioned this in one of our very first videos on YouTube, is there's an incident between Jin and I. Back when we first started dating, he had this habit of calling me big. Like when I'd try on clothes, he'd just say, "Oh, I think you're too big for that." I'd sit in a chair and he'd say, "I think you're too big for that chair." Like just these comments.
I didn't say that, did I?
You did say that. What are you
I don't
talking
remember.
about? It's cemented in my mind. Now, as a native English speaker, if you say that to a woman like me, that woman is going to think, "Damn, I'm that fat? I'm too fat for these clothes. I'm too fat for that chair. What the heck? I can't believe this guy is saying this to me." I was so deeply offended that I honestly considered just not even continuing the relationship with you. Because if your partner is saying that to you, it hurts on the inside, okay?
한국에서 영어 공부를 할 때 big 하면 크다 이렇게 배우잖아요. 그러면 키가 크다라고 제가 생각을 하고 저는 잘 기억이 안 나요, 옛날이라. 그래가지고 제가 무심결에 제가 레이한테 big 크다 로 생각해서 big이라고 했었던 건데 이렇게 레이한테 상처가 되는 말인지는 진짜 몰랐어요. 그래서 단어 선택이 이렇게 굉장히 중요한 거예요. 저 레이 잃을 뻔했어요, 이 실수 때문에.
So anyway, that's why I think as a teacher and as the wife of a non-native English-speaking person, I really approve of this app in particular because I think the way that it teaches you and reinforces you vocabulary in context is really, really, really smart and efficient. Maybe we should just show them.
Yeah. 원래는 이렇게 앱을 시작하시면은 반배치고사 같이 이렇게 배치고사를 보셔야 돼요. 근데 저는 3달 전에 배치고사를 봐가지고 상위 2.62%라고 뜨네요. 이게 좋은 건지 안 좋은 건지 잘 모르겠는데 어쨌든 이렇게 떠요.
My 똑똑해 husband. Aww.
Should we start?
I'm very curious to see your progress since last time I watched you. 관심사? What's 관심사?
Like things that you care about.
My main blank as president will be improving our economy.
Gore?
I thought goal, but I think it's too simple. It's not long enough.
I'll get the hint. 자존심 상하지만 제가 힌트 볼게요. 이거 알 것 같은데.
CO. Does this make you feel better when me, the native speaker, doesn't even know the answer?
이게 어떤 훈련을 하는 거냐면 이거 제가 답을 봤을 때 아는 단어일 수도 있어요. 근데 이 어플리케이션을 통해서 훈련할 수 있는 거는 지금 제 머릿속에 있는 사전에서 이 단어를 끄집어내서 이 상황에서 쓸 수 있도록 이렇게 반복 훈련할 수 있게 도와주는 되게 효율적인 어플리케이션이에요.
So the beauty of this app is all of the questions are adjusted to your specific English level. Jin's level is kind of high because he's a genius, top 2.6%. But if you're not that high, your questions will be a little bit easier and they'll gradually get more difficult as you start improving and getting questions right. But what happens if you get so many questions wrong? Do you like downgrade?
I don't know.
But this is hard. I think I know the answer. Can I guess and see if I'm right as the native speaker? Concern.
이거 아는 단어인데 한국 사람들은 이 컨선을 배울 때 걱정거리, like worry 이렇게 배우잖아요. 그래가지고 지금 머릿속에서 이 관심사라는 단어를 봤을 때 이 컨선을 꺼내는 게 굉장히 어려워요. Next question. 이거 진짜 너무 오기가 생겨요. 계속 맞춰야 될 것 같아요.
Because I gave you the answer, now your level's gonna increase, so it's gonna be harder now.
If you pass that door, but
I
can
know
use
what it
pass.
is.
If you
It can't be pass, it's 2 words. This one's easy.
go through.
Yes, that's correct. No, you spelled it wrong. That's the first thing I want to mention about this app. This app gives you such perfect little hints because I just gave that hint, right? I just said you spelled it 1 letter wrong.
Yeah.
The app said the same freaking thing in Korean.
Yeah.
So when I'm teaching English to my students, I try really hard to never give them the answer. I try to just give them some hints so they can think of the answer themselves. To me, that's the best method of learning because you will more likely remember it.
Honest.
솔직해?
If I type honest, they're gonna comment something because it's too long.
Oh, that's true.
See?
So it's saying it's right? Yeah.
I got the bonus
honest
hint.
좋은데. It's cute. It's like, oh, it's good, but wrong. Actually, this is the part about this app that I like the most. And that is that it teaches you many synonyms. I think native English speakers use all types of synonyms in their personal vocabulary. For example, perhaps I like to call Korean food spicy, but maybe Jin likes to call it hot. You know, there's multiple ways to describe the same thing. And if you're not familiar with the synonyms, then you won't be able to fully understand the nuance of the sentence. Even if you don't personally want to use the word spicy in your vocabulary, at least you should know it, right?
Yeah. This is a great question.
Oh, I see. It's like I'm dying. I'm so hungry.
Koreans gonna say hungry here, but it's a wrong question. It's a wrong answer. See, hungry is just hungry, but this question
they use
is
the word juk, so you have
hungry
to
to death. That is starving.
Look at you, smart husband. See, this is why I like this app. I think it's teaching you words that you will definitely encounter when you're out and about with people. That I'm starving, Americans say that all the time, right?
They don't say hungry. Hungry is just like
yeah, I could eat.
Yeah.
But I always say I'm starving, literally starving, even though I'm not literally starving. Without my car, I had no way of
commuting.
출근하?
Commute. Going to work. What? Getting to work.
Oh. Do you feel good?
Yeah.
I didn't guess it.
이게 계속 맞히고 싶어가지고 중독돼요.
You did the 관심사. What is 관심사? I answered it for you last time, so.
Concern.
See? So what the app did just then is so good. It's spaced repetition, which is proven to be one of the best ways to study because it forces you to recall an answer that you struggled with previously until you can get it right the first time. Good job. But I don't want to bore you guys with studying like this, but I think you can tell from Jin's reaction, it doesn't feel like studying, right? It's like a game.
Yeah.
It's fun. Hopefully you're feeling like you're improving your English and first thing to focus on right now is just passing your test tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna pass?
I think I can pass.
Really?
Yeah.
Should we sit here and practice some driving test questions and show me how good you are?
이제 영어 공부를 그만하고 이제 운전면허 시험 공부를 해야 될 것 같아요.
I'm not complaining about Jin whatsoever. I'm complaining about the Minnesota driving test situation because they make you schedule 3 to 6 months in advance, or you have to drive 2 or 3 hours away to a really far away city that doesn't have a big population. So if you fail, we're gonna have to waste a lot of time and I'm gonna have to do all of the driving, okay? Because after he passes this, then he has to wait 6 more months to take the driving test. And if you don't pass the driving test, then you gotta wait another 6 months. It's gonna be 5 years before you get your freaking license in Minnesota. You got this. I'm gonna make sure you wake up in the morning. I'm gonna give you some coffee. I'm gonna give you a good breakfast. I'm gonna cheer you on. I'm gonna be right by your side the whole time. I'm gonna watch through the window and just cross my fingers and think only good thoughts that you can pass. Okay? I hope we can report back with good news. Oh, I mean, it might be kind of funny if you fail. Anyway, guys, he's having too much fun out here. I think he's feeling confident.
Yeah, let's study for the test and then go home.
Yeah, sounds good. The weather's so nice out here. Jin, you have some good news, right?
저 운전면허 시험 합격했어요, 드디어.
Yay!
제가 실기 시험을 스케줄 잡았는데요. 12월 말이래요. 게다가 눈 오면 취소될 수도 있대요. 그래서 제가 합격했다는 증거 남기려고 사진 찍어놨어요.
Let's see. Passed. Wow. Good job. I'm so proud of you for passing. I knew you could do it. And all the extra studying probably helped you a little bit too. So anyway, guys, so glad we could give you some good news to end this video. I think that's gonna do it for today, but we'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh, say can you